Jimmy. So it was funny. We were at a conference, and that's where we got to know each other. And our face to face have always been at conference. And this past conference, in fact, me and Wanda are walking out of a session. We're walking past. I go, oh, look, there's Jimmy. Let's go say hey real quick. And I walk in. There's like 40 people waiting to shake his hand.
Line.
And I was like, listen. Nah. I said, he is not that important. I will send him a text.
Yes. Yeah. I know. You know what's funny is I had one of my daughters had gone to conference. I was speaking in Hawaii. This is one of the things, and so they played the whole time. And then I was speaking and everything, and they're sitting down there, and they're on their whatever social they were on. They're like doing these stories, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And and they're like, they're making fun of me as I'm speaking on social media, And then I got fired up. I jumped up in the chair beside them, and I started just like, and I'll tell you this, and I'm just bringing this thing home, and they're literally like. They're filming like themselves with me up, and they're like, he's in the chair. Look at this. And what is this? And then they did, oh my gosh, it worked. Standing ovation. And they did that, so it's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. But my wife is like, she's like, they don't know.
Well, they don't. My kids still don't know. My kids go and they're like, what does your dad do? And my kids are like,
No, exactly. Yes. He drives us around, cab driver.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I know.
Cool.
Okay, so I've got some stuff I want to pick your brain about.
Yes.
So I'm the CEO of the company. The guys own it. Yeah. But I oversee like our staff and their goals and, just working really closely with them.
You were in that position?
Still am. And actually, there'll be an announcement tomorrow. I'm moving into a chairman role, but yes.
Well, this won't come out, so.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. Let me say this. Yeah, because literally when I moved into the position out of, sales into what we called at that time, Chief Growth Officer.
Yeah.
We were a company of about 60 agents. We grew to about we went up to 300 agents, went from 400 million in sales to 2.1 billion in sales. And look, you don't do that just yourself. So the staff was the most critical part of that.
For sure.
Because that was the face of the company. In a lot of
we
ways.
built a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a good team.
It's kind of been a long time coming. I mean, it's, we've got people in the roles and I think that they need to be in and like personality testing and lots of things like that has really helped us with that. But so I have that going on. And then of course, just our overall company growth. So I'm typically the first person that an agent speaks to if they're interested in joining our company. I'm very involved in our local market and our industry, have built a ton of relationships. Right now, one thing that I'm seeing a lot of, and I just want to get your point of view on it because I think it'll speak to a lot of the agents that I'm speaking to, are experienced agents that have been in the industry a while. They have been with their company, loyal to their company, and they can truly see the value that we bring, the support, because I know that we provide more in the way of value and support than anybody else in this market. We just do.
Yes.
And if somebody wants to grow and be successful, they have the best chance with us. These agents see that, but they are so scared to take that leap because of that loyalty and that, they just, feel guilty. They feel so bad. And so I've tried to help them reframe that.
Yeah.
What would you say to those agents?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'd say this. First off, if they didn't have loyalty, you probably don't want them anyway.
Sure.
And so it's the same thing that makes it a slower decision is probably what makes it a better decision. Yeah. I've always said this, and look, I've tried to turn this mirror back at us, and I'm just so that we have to continuously on a local level continue to be getting better, continue to be offering better opportunities for agents, training, whatever it is, technology, support, whatever it is that we specialize in, we have to continuously be getting better because as a company, what got us here is not going to get us there. And as an agent, what got them here is probably not going to get them there. You have to understand, especially if you see agents, and if agents are listening to this and their business has been flat and it's not continuing to grow and it had always grown, you only coast one way. That's down. I mean, you can't coast up. And so when things start moving in that direction, there's really just one thing you can do in that situation is you got to make some changes and just understand that. And look, change is hard. But I will tell you, the situations where I have had the most success was when I made the tough decisions. And now listen, I can't speak to any particular agent exactly what their situation is. But I can tell you that if you look at everything and you realize that you're going to be able to serve your clients at a higher level, because it's not just about you, and you're going to have the ability to affect more people, and you have a desire to still grow your business, then odds are, if your company's not growing, they're going to eventually, you're not going to be able to grow. We just talked about this just a few minutes ago. We were talking about this off air about who you're around is who you become. And so, if you're in a situation where you see that there is momentum you guys have happening, if you want momentum in your business, the best way to do it is to get over there. Warren Buffett said it this way. He said, if you want to go somewhere, get on the fastest train that's moving in that direction. Yeah. And y'all the fastest train moving in that direction here. And so from that standpoint, if somebody wants to have true growth, sometimes you got to squat to jump. And sometimes you got to make some sacrifices that aren't necessarily comfortable because growth and comfort, they just simply can't coexist.
Yeah. So to add on to that, like let's say an agent is at that point and they're like, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to do this. It's very uncomfortable. I mean, nobody likes change.
Right.
We can all say, oh, I don't mind it. I embrace it. But like nobody really likes it. Yeah. But let's say they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. How would you recommend they approach that with their broker?
Yeah, I mean, I just think honesty is always the best policy. I will tell you, there have been times where there are agents that have left us because what they needed, we were not providing, because we can't be everything for everybody, And so I appreciate it when they would come in and say, hey, listen, I really do appreciate what you've done for me. I mean, there's nothing that does that, and that I will ever forget that. However, I just believe if I'm going to position my family to be what I'm supposed to be, unfortunately, I've got to make a change here, and it's not comfortable. This is an uncomfortable conversation, but honesty is always the best policy. Just tell them the truth. Yeah. And I will tell you, the whole reason that I got out of sales was because there were some agents that were truthful with the owners of the previous company I worked with. They came in and they told them, I had a big team. We were selling. And when they were the first ones to leave our company at that time, those owners called in a group of us who were the top teams and said, hey, we just kind of want to know, what are you guys thinking? I mean, obviously we got to do some different things. What do you think? That one person being honest with those guys ended up giving us the ability to grow that company the way we did and sell it to Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah. Because the honesty that they came back and they gave us those answers. So listen, you owe it to them to be honest with them. And those tough conversations, I mean, literally it's the fertilizer for future growth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting hearing your, point of view on it. We just want to help people. Right. And then it's frustrating because I have formed, really deep, solid relationships with these people. And they text me frustrated, like, I've lost these clients. I don't have these systems in place. I should have made the move. And I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing.
What are we doing?
That's the thing. And I think that's a great point is because I've had agents that are in that situation. And the thing I would say is if you have an issue and you don't feel comfortable getting the answer you think you need from your existing broker or company, then it's time to make a change. Yeah. Because obviously, either people grow with you or you outgrow them. Right. And a lot of times what happens, and I see it all the time, we see agents that hit these plateaus in their business and they're like, I don't know why I can't get past this, because you've grown as big as you can. Look, I mean, if I take I had somebody send to me a miniature magnolia tree. I don't know why they gave me that.
Oh, yeah, we have magnolias. That's the state tree.
Yeah. So this is like one of these. So somebody gave me one as a gift, and which was a great gift because they're like, hey, you'll always remember you plant this tree. Well, the house that we're in now on 38 doesn't have a big yard. You know what I mean? And so literally I was like, oh, we're going to buy this lot. We were buying this lot up towards the country, and I was like, we'll plant the tree up there. So in the meantime, for 3 months, it's sitting in that pot out there. And all this, I was like, man, this thing's truly miniature. It's not growing at all. My wife says, why don't you go get a bigger pot and put it in it? And the second we put it, and it wasn't the tree that couldn't grow, it was in the wrong soil. It was restricted in the pot it was in. And the second we moved that into that bigger pot, it bloomed because it had more room for growth. It had grown as much as it could where it was, and I had to make a change in order to give it a new environment where it had room to have deeper roots, where it had room to bloom and to grow. So I think a lot of times that's the problem is we think it's something that we're doing, and in reality, it's not anything about what you're doing, it's about where you are.
Love that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about a big picture of Berkshire Hathaway. I know a lot of changes have been made. Obviously, Vince has come in, and he has some big ideas. And between you and Vince and Chris, y'all just have some great ideas. What excites you the most? Like, what? Let's talk about the brand. Why do you think the brand in today's market gives agents the best opportunity?
Well, it goes back. It's trust. I mean, look, and ultimately what the brand does is it gets us in the door. The agents, are the ones that close the business. But I will tell you personally, I had it in my sales business. That name gave me credibility and gave me the opportunity to at least get in the room. Ultimately, the agents have to win it. But look, I know the best agents, they just want to be able to get in the room. And that's what the brand does. There's a trust, there's integrity, there is a long-standing understanding that when you hear the name Berkshire Hathaway, it means value, and it comes with integrity. And so it's one of the most trusted names. I mean, you can see it. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to remember, was it Wall Street Journal or was it Fortune Magazine? I think it was Fortune Magazine. They did the most trusted brands in the world, and it was literally like, Apple, it was Disney, and then it was Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
And so we get to carry that name. There's a responsibility that comes with that, but it gives us the ability to really get in the door. So from a brand perspective, obviously the name is still as strong as it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And so going forward, though, how do you supplement that and give value to the agents? Because I think, obviously, as a brand, we have somewhat just lived off of the name. Mm-hmm. And so what you're seeing now with Vince's leadership, Vince Lisi as the president, and also obviously Chris Kelly at Home Services and me helping out as well, is that we're focused in on, okay, now it's not just about the name. Now, how do we create these environments? This is why we have these special events. Hey, we're going to have one. I mean, anybody that's doing over and this may be a reason somebody wanted to come, $250,000 or more GCI minimum. We're going to have an event down in Destin where we're going to have 250 agents from across the country. We're doing 3 of these events every year. Call them explosion events. We've been out there. You've been out there. We used to do them in Omaha. We started putting these things on the move. We did one in California earlier in the year. We're going to do this one down here. There's one in Michigan, and I'm going to be at it in 2 weeks, or it was going to be. I mean, we're backing off that one because we're going to focus in on the managers. But literally, we're taking and we're involving everybody in this. So you're seeing this. I mean, I don't know if you're going to this or not, but I mean, we've got a manager-owner meeting that we're having in a couple 3 weeks where we're bringing in about 30 different companies with the different owners and the people that are leaders there. We're doing those all across the country. So we're bringing the value back to those folks to really give them an understanding of what's there. And from that standpoint, A players want to be around A players. So this is the reason why, like every Friday I do that mastermind, and I'm bringing in the best people. Part of my job as the chief coaching officer for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services is really to identify the talent out there. And that's why I'm excited to be with you guys tomorrow and see some of the folks and really kind of hear what's working right now. And then I'm to aggregate that and then get it out to everybody as quick as possible. So we're running over on average weekly. With replays and everything, we're running about almost 3,000 agents watching those things every Friday. And look, that doesn't just happen. It's because there's value being given there. And so we're creating a brand that is not only just a trusted brand, but it's the most collaborative brand that's out there in the business. Yeah. You see the partnerships that we've done with Zillow. You see the partnerships that was just announced this morning. I don't know if you've even seen it yet, where we did the partnership with Zillow that has now led to Realtor.com, where anybody that has their preview listings now, not only do we have the ability to get it on the 2 largest portals out there in advance, but Zillow now will pay us a referral fee if somebody buys a different property and the lead comes from one of our listings that we're doing in preview listings. These are things we've never had before. So we're creating partnerships. We've got the partnership with 1000 Watt, one of the most trusted marketing brands out there, to really realign what is it that we're doing and how do we present things in a new and a value in a way that we're marketing in the way that things are being done now. So I think you're seeing a lot of change in a very short period of time, and the best truly is yet to come.
When we were looking at different options and I was looking at franchises, the thing that appealed to me, what I saw is there was a group of traditional old brands in real estate. Mm-hmm. And then you had a group of new kids on the block that were being very, very innovative, but causing a lot of destruction in some ways and being sloppy, but doing that. And I felt like Berkshire Hathaway was a good blend between the two. And what I'm real excited about is really flexing. Berkshire Hathaway doesn't need anything from us to help the trust of the brand, right? And so I'm just excited about what's coming with the innovations that we're making as a company.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably done more in the last 9 months than we've done in 9 years, to be honest. I mean, with some of the new things that we're doing, some of the new partnerships, and some of the initiatives that are on the chalkboard, so to speak, that are coming, that you're going to be excited about some of the things you're going to be hearing about in the next couple months.
Awesome. You have any other questions?
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see.
What, let me ask you this. Who should real estate agents be following today?
They should be following you for number one. I mean, literally, I mean, obviously, and one, I mean, these are things that really, I think what we're seeing right now is like, I'm watching different people in different areas. So for instance, if I'm watching AI right now, if that's the topic I'm watching Jason Pantana. Jason's been on a mastermind with me. He's probably one of the best minds out there.
I watched that one. It's really good.
Yeah. I'm watching Rajiv Saja. You know, I mean, he's got a podcast as well. If I'm talking about marketing, I'm literally leaning into everything Jimmy Mackin's doing right now. I think he's got his pulse on everything that he's really coming innovative. He's one of these guys that's obsessed with it. I mean, I run into very few people that is as obsessed with helping agents as much as I am. And I'll get these texts or direct messages from Jimmy at like 10 o'clock and he's like, which of these two subject lines do you think are going to get the best response? And I'm like, God, get some rest, dude. I mean, you know, he's obsessed with finding ways to serve agents on the marketing side. So I just think, I think there's different areas. I go outside of our industry, you know, as well. I mean, I watch certain people that are doing certain things with building an email list, following up with a database. What is it that they're doing marketing wise that we're not doing in our business and doing those things? I just watch those things. One of the things I do on social media is I'll go on and I'll find someone, whether it's in real estate in another market or it's in the industry that I just like the way they market and they're doing innovative things. I'll take a look at their Instagram grid, for instance. And if I see on there that there is an average watch of 500, I'm just going to use that to make it easy, 500 views on their reels. And then all of a sudden I see one that has 5,000, that's a 10X. Well, that video that they did in that local market, odds are if I put my local spin on it and play it in my local market with the same framework, the same type of things, I'm going to get a 10X as well. So what we're doing is we're learning now at a breakneck pace, really, from other people. And we've never had that ability to do that before.
Now, as far as the content you put out, I know you're heavy on social. You're doing YouTube. You said you've made a video a week for like 50 years or something like that. What's your content? Why should agents listen to what you're putting out? What are you giving them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just think I'm at a place where literally that's what it's all about for me. Is I'm just trying to give back to this industry that for 30 years gave my family and me everything that I ever dreamed of, as far as relationships, as far as opportunity, as far as the ability to affect change. And so, man, that's what I'm driven by. And it's not that I've got all the great ideas. I had Tom Ferry tell me this years ago. I was making fun of him. He picked me up at the airport. We were going to shoot some video stuff. And I said, oh, you just DJ Khaled. Man, all you do is just spin other people's stuff. You hadn't had an original idea in 5 years. And he laughed, you know, and we kind of joking. And then he said, Jimmy, I got to get back to what you said. He said, you know what? You're absolutely right. And you should be the exact same way. And he said, you know, most people can't have but one, maybe two great ideas a year. Maybe. I mean, brilliant people. He said, but he said, there are unlimited number of agents out there that are doing great things. And if you'll be the one that goes and finds those things and shines the light on them, it'll absolutely give the ability for you to affect change with more agents at a higher level. And so that's what I do. I mean, literally everything that I'm doing is doing these trips where I'm there. I was in Mobile last week and I heard an agent talking about just a specific little thing they were doing with AI that I was like, man, that is brilliant. And then immediately I tried to do something to get that out to as many people as possible. So everything I'm doing is really just gathering the ideas. I mean, it's not like I'm that smart. All I do is just gather them and I just try to get them out.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of agents in our local market that spend a lot of money on like one-to-one coaching, different programs.
Right.
You know, there's lots of different ones out there and some of them are really great.
Right.
But I feel like everything that's provided to us as a brand between Learn Center, the conferences that you can go to, especially Explosion. I mean, my goodness, me and Misty go and we have takeaways for the whole year, right? Trying to implement and like, what are we going to prioritize? So do you feel that, you know, a lot of the agents now that are paying for those things, they're at companies that they feel like they have to because they don't have that in-house. So if you can just talk about that some. I know one thing that you've said, and I think it might have been when they announced you in this new role with Berkshire, was that you believe coaching is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity.
That's exactly right.
So it's got to happen.
Yeah, but let me tell you what, when I say that, it comes in a number of different forms because traditionally what we thought of is someone sitting here telling you what to do and you go do it.
Yes, that one-to-one coaching.
That is to me, that is less because basically you're just an employee for that coach. I mean, and it's great. There's times when you need someone to instruct you on those things. Most people don't need to be taught, they need to be reminded. And so from from coaching standpoint, it is masterminds are just as important as anything. And in reality, I've said this about Tom's organization, Tom Ferry's organization. It's a great organization and they have phenomenal coaches. They do most of theirs in group settings now. And the reason being is because they're pulling the ideas from each other and they're sharing those ideas in a group. The other thing is you have to understand, one of the most powerful things about great coaching is that it puts you in an environment with other people that are growing. And it gives you the capability to be in that environment. With Tom's organization, being a part of that ecosystem is as important as anything because that generates referrals, that generates ideas, that generates the relationships. This is why I'll use Berkshire for instance. This is a perfect example. Us getting together like this. I mean, literally just the time you spend with other people that are achieving things really doesn't just inspire you, it gives you those ideas. So from a coaching standpoint, you're absolutely right. I believe you have to have coaches in your life. Now, you may have coaches that are there for a reason because there's something that you need to do or a season, a certain amount of time. But ultimately, we're doing everything possible. I know y'all are on the local level to surround people and put them in environments where they can absolutely be at as many live events as they want. I've always said live events change lives. I've seen it. It changed mine. And so from that standpoint, that's why you're seeing more of a focus. I mean, literally, there's an event that we're doing just about every month for Berkshire right now. Right. There is an opportunity with masterminds every single Friday to be around other great agents. You guys do it. Y'all have, y'all do the same thing. So from that standpoint, that's the thing is yes, I think a lot of people are paying for coaching and the reason, and they should if they don't have other alternatives, but give them the opportunities and we're going to do our best as well.
What's really cool is us studying, now that we're 2 or 3 years into having our masterminds, which really came from you or from Vince and you. Mm-hmm. But the growth or the performance of the mastermind attendees versus the ones that don't come. Right. And how much is it? It's
27% growth in their GCI. Yeah.
Just to come for 1 hour once a week. And just to be around those people. Once a month. We do ours once a month.
See, let me just say this. I mean, if you want to have some success, get around successful people. We get all over you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing is in that environment, it's not even what you guys are teaching, but they get around other people. I had this. I told this a few weeks ago. I had this young guy that I had mentored for years. He was up at the gym. I came into the gym. He immediately started on me. First thing he said is, man, I was here the other morning. He said, and I looked out the window. I saw you in your truck. He said, I was worked out for 20 minutes. You never even came in.
Oh, gosh.
He said, you just out there on your phone. And I said, well, man, let me just tell you this. I said, there's a lot of mornings that I don't necessarily want to go to the gym. Right. I said, but, when you left, you didn't see me go in. Very rarely do I pull up that gym and not go in. I said, what happens is I realize that if there's power in proximity. And so I'll drive up to that gym even when I don't want to, and I'll sit out there and start working on that. And then I'll see you walk in or walk out, or I'll see some of my other people. And then I'll see a guy that limps in there and I'll be like, man, are you kidding me? At least you do. You're already up here. Just get in there and do a little work.
Right.
And then, so I said, so what I found is you just got to be around it. Mm-hmm. And if you're around it, it'll inspire you to take the action you need to take. Mm-hmm. And then immediately I was only in there about 20 minutes. I had to catch a flight that morning. So I was in there for 20 minutes. I'm leaving. He goes, you cutting it short today? Mm-hmm. And I said, son, let me just tell you what I found out. I said, is that the consistency of me breaking a sweat every day for the next 3 months is going to be way more important than me being in here for an hour and a half today.
Yeah.
And I said, there's going to be certain days that I'm going to be all in. There's going to be certain days that I'm just here trying to break a sweat. Today was one of those days, but I did it. Yeah. And so I think sometimes we think about that as well. When we're talking about agents you just got to be around. You're talking about the growth y'all are seeing. 27%? 27%. You know what? That's life-changing money.
Yes.
And so literally you just got to be around that. There is power in proximity. And not only is there power in proximity, but when you're there, it's going to inspire you to do more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love what you said that people don't need to be taught. They need to be reminded. Mm-hmm. That's such good stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm like, the past 3 years, every time I've taught in front of our agents, it has literally been the same message.
Yeah.
I might make it look a little different, put some different acronyms. It's the same thing, right? I don't need to teach anything new. They don't need to learn anything new. No. Honestly, you know, years ago, I was able to be at a conference that Rick Warren was speaking at, wrote Purpose-Driven Life. And he said, you know what I found about Christians? They have really big heads, really big butts, and tiny hands. He said, because we take all of the knowledge and we know it all, but we don't do anything with it, right? And I think that's really what it is. It's like we don't need another lesson, right? We need to be around other people that are moving forward, that we want to be like, that are going to help us, bring us along, energize us. That's what we need to be around.
You don't want to be the person that's knocking it down to 25% because you aren't growing. You know what I mean? If you're around other people that are growing, I mean, you want to, and they're sharing stories. You know, it's. I mean,
just think about that though. If you monetize it, $100,000 a year in GCI, what would $27,000 extra do for you and your family? Right.
Yes.
And that's crazy.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah, and that's the thing that we forget about. You know, is that literally that difference in being in those masterminds. And I think sometimes we talk about that, and this is one thing that I've tried to focus in on, is that we have to understand that, you know, the stats tell. I mean, 27%, that's amazing. But then if you were to tell the story, that's what sells. Right. Stats tell, stories sell. So if you go back and you say to that person and have that person who got in the mastermind and saw $27,000 difference, and they say, I took my kids to Disney. I put X, and I bought a rental property. I did, how it changed their life. Yeah. You know, it's not just a stat then. Now all of a sudden it's something that people get emotional about.
I love that.
It drives action.
I love it. Yeah. $27,000 will only pay for half of a Disney trip at this point with a family of 6.
Which you can totally imagine. It's been a while since
y'all stay to the Grand Floridian. I mean, where y'all staying?
Oh man. Yeah. One thing Leighton says too that's very true is, you know, real estate is a lonely industry. You know, it can be. So I think that's another thing huge with those mastermind groups is the agents say they feel like it's their monthly therapy session, part of it. You know,
who do you relate to in real estate?
Right.
Your spouse doesn't understand. Your family doesn't understand. Your friends don't understand. They all have these different perspectives.
Right.
And you know, so we have to be around each other.
Yeah. And look, it's the other thing is you celebrate together, but you also, you know, what we've found in our masterminds especially is somebody will say, I'm really struggling with this. And then what's awesome in a mastermind is then somebody over here says, man, I was right there 2 months ago. Let me tell you what I did, and let me tell you where I'm at now. And so all of a sudden now it's that sharing of understanding that there's probably not anybody, if you are struggling in that group, that hasn't been where you are, and they can tell you exactly what they did to get out of it as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like we've got a lot of good stuff. Yeah. It's been great.
Yes.
Which I could talk to Jimmy
really good
the rest of the day, really, about all this.
Well, we gave Jimmy an easy job tomorrow. We, instead of having a presentation, we just said, hey, we're going to ask you 30 questions.
Yeah, so, I know. Yeah, I know.
Hey, you just have to be careful with Adam because he'll be done.
He'll be.
That's fine. I didn't figure. I mean, I'm gonna look at them tonight. I'm gonna look at the questions tonight because I figured we would just wander anyway.
And Adam uses very
Adam
big,
talks
intelligent
over.
He doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk in redneck. Yeah, he doesn't talk in redneck.
He don't talk like us, Jimmy.
All right, cool. We good?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
Perfect.